Today I'll be talking about the science of happiness, better known as the four feel-good hormones, which are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins. And I'll be talking about how you can naturally amp up their levels in your life in a healthy and, again, natural way. Section 1. The reward molecule, dopamine. Dopamine has a big role in helping you with motivation as well as reward. Dopamine is what makes us feel in the moment like we want to take over the world. It's what you would usually call motivation. And if we're talking about healthy, natural ways of increasing it, we're not going to be talking about how you can eat a bar of chocolate or how you can have fast food or watch pornography or do a line of coke in order to increase the dopamine and get all fidgety and freezy. No, we'll be talking about things such as preparing for a spar, or that moment where you're about to score a goal or shoot a hoop and it's gonna go in. That dopamine that you feel when it's the moment of truth and it's you against them and it's you against the world and it's the moment everybody's waiting, everybody's watching, and you have dopamine is making you shake. That's what we'll be talking about. And dopamine is that thing that gives you, again, motivation as well as satisfaction and excitement, pleasure. So again, anything that's naturally induced is fine. Chocolate bars, pornography and all that is not fine. And dopamine has an important role to play when it comes to memory, mood, sleep, learning, as well as concentration. So these are things that, if you want to promote them, you could focus on aspects of your life that could promote it. So again, it could be maybe saying something to a stranger. Maybe that gives you dopamine because it makes you nervous. Things that make you nervous but that wouldn't be negative for you. Things that give you a little bit of anxiety. Think about the times in which you feel nervous. Again, let's take the example when you're about to score a goal. You have dopamine. You've just gone past all the defenders. It's just you against the goaler now, the goalkeeper. And there's no one else in your way. What do you feel in that moment? You're like, you're like shaky. You're very nervous because it's about to happen. It's about to get real. That dopamine is healthy. It's something that will nurture all these good things in you and promote things like sleep, again, mood and memory, and things that you could practice, things that you could do in your life to kind of promote the amount of dopamine in your life if you are lacking in that. And it doesn't have to be something so physical like playing a sport. It can also be something such as goal setting. Let's say that you map out the trajectory you're going to take for the next 3 months because you have a project or something you're working on. Okay, fine. In that case, you map out and you make details. And seeing a clear route is going to give you a lot of dopamine. It's going to give you that initial push of motivation, which you can use as momentum to then snowball through the whole thing. However, on a side note, do be careful with such things as preparing, because when you spend too much time preparing, it's actually really just an excuse for procrastination. So set a specific amount of time if you want to do something like goal setting, and stay true to the amount of time you gave yourself originally. Before we move on to number 2, let me give you an example of when I felt great dopamine, which helped me and boosted my ability to kind of snowball my future activities. The first time that I hit the 100 kg bench press. First attempt, I failed. I tried the next day, I failed. I tried again the next week, and I failed the first attempt. A friend was there with me. I said, I'm gonna freaking do it. I'm doing it. Nothing's gonna stop me. After I take some time, I put on my music and I say, alright, don't help me, bro. Only help me if it stays on my chest and it doesn't move. He says, alright, I got you. I lift it off. Here we go. I'm trembling. I'm shaking all over the place because I'm so excited to finally hit it. It's a big achievement the first time that you hit it, and obviously I was really looking forward to it. I lift it off, I go down, and I start going up, and I see that I'm going up, and I can feel that I've still got strength in my body, and I carry on, and I'm shaking, I'm going slowly, but I keep going up and up, and I can feel the dopamine going through my body, and bam! I re-rack it, and I shit you not, in the middle of the gym, I just start jumping up saying, let's go! And celebrating like a madman. I think I want to say 18 when this happened. And what was fun is that the next day I tried it again and I got like 2 reps, and I was like, oh my god, I am a beast. That's it, it's over, I'm the strongest in the gym. Clearly not, but and yeah, I hit 1 PR after the next on that same session. everything that came after the bench was a PR. On the triceps thing or blah blah blah, everything was a PR, and that's a way the dopamine kind of helped me snowball and use my momentum to go forward. It increased my mood and also my concentration when it came to the lift. So moving on. Section 2, serotonin. This helps with the regulation of your mood as well as your emotions. It also helps sexual function. It improves your uninterrupted sleep, and your blood clotting, which is the things that heals your body, gets faster. So this is good if you are somebody that goes to the gym and whatnot and wants to get a bigger body or whatever. And it also reduces depression and anxiety. This is why serotonin is known more primarily than the others as the happiness hormone, because if you're high on serotonin, it's unlikely that you're going to feel depressed or anxiety. Serotonin kind of like mellows you and chills you down. There's 3 things that will naturally increase your serotonin that I found after research, which I've also tried, and I was like, damn, this goes a long way. Number 1, exposure to sunlight. Oh my god, this is so true. I've started to spend, I've moved countries from UK where there's less sunlight, unfortunately, and especially in the winter time, there is hardly sunlight. And what happens with this is I couldn't really set time in my routine where I could say, alright, in the morning I'm going to spend 10 minutes or half hour in the sun, because there simply was no sun. And this doesn't really need to be exposed to direct sunlight, but I mean, it's better. I've been doing it now and it's completely awesome. Another thing you can do is working out, doing exercise of some sort. This also promotes the serotonin in your body, as well as a balanced diet. Balanced not of bad things, but balanced of good things. Eat some apples, eat some bananas, eat some whatever you want, but balanced diet. And just to go back to the whole sunlight thing, I mean, think about it for a second. Don't you feel like everybody is happier in the summertime? Why do you think that is? Is it just because it's the holidays or whatever? No, it's because it's sunlight outside and we all kind of like absorb it and we're like, oh, serotonin. Said no one ever. No one actually thinks that way, but that is the reason. Because of serotonin, we feel like every summer is just so much better than the rest of the year. Section 3, endorphins. These are the natural painkillers. Not just painkillers for like physical pain, but also stress relievers. Think about all the times that you... Actually no, before that, it is released through things such as stretching, as well as working out. And now I want you to correlate the two. Think about the times that you finished your workout at the gym. You got out of there, or you worked out at home, or whatever. You finished it, and you had a sense of peace. You had a lack of stress. You felt, this is a whole, I've done something productive, I feel good about it. But it's also the fact that endorphins were released because you did something challenging and difficult. And now you've got some stress relief and painkillers. There are other things that release endorphins. Obviously, besides working out, like cardio workouts, going on a run is really good. And funnily enough, laughing is also a great endorphin release. I mean, laughing a lot kind of takes all the stress away from you. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I've had delirious moments with myself where I was in a dark phase or whatever, in a dark time, and something was so absurd about the whole matter that it made me laugh. And I started laughing, almost crying, because of how funny the situation was, even though I was originally on the verge of sad tears, not happy tears. And this laughter made me feel so much better about everything. There was a lot of stress relief, and now I understand because it's endorphins. There's one last thing for endorphins that are good for it, which is, I won't talk too much about it because it's natural, but it's like, spicy food can help release endorphins, but that's all I'll say because it's not really a natural way of amping it up. Number 4, we have the exciting one, oxytocin. This is the love hormone. I made a little list of things it does because it's quite a few. It plays a part and a role in social bonding and connection, sexual arousal, recognition, trust, romantic attachment, and mother-infant bonding. What does this mean? Essentially, it makes you bond with others. When you have oxytocin, when you kind of like give it off, people will receive it and be attracted, be pulled towards you as if you were some sort of gravitational pull. And this hasn't been completely confirmed, but it's been speculated that there's also a certain smell and scent that you give off, which we recognize and we kind of get attracted to in regards to oxytocin. There's a lot of recognition thing that animals use to tell who is their mother or not. and that we kind of also do, but in a more subtle way, because, you know, we got brain unlike animals. Of course, oxytocin can be increased with the big ol', you know, sex or making love, but other ways that you can increase oxytocin is through simple activities like hugging, you know, bonding with loved ones, sharing good, loving times with them, or giving someone a massage. This is also good. Giving them a compliment and smiling at them. This will give you some oxytocin. As long as it gives you a little bit of excitement, it will work. And other like acts of kindness as well. It doesn't have to be lustful. I'm just giving you a few examples here, but it's up to you to do more research if you want. These are all ways of amping things up naturally for you in your lifestyle, and you can make notes or come back to the video. But if you want to find out more ways, you can always make your own research using the terms that you've seen in this video. So, you know, with all the examples that I've given you so far, you can make a lifestyle that will naturally increase these feel-good hormones for yourself that will best benefit and suit your own style. You know, for example, it could be you can meditate in the sunlight, you could have some goal setting for the next week or for the next 2 weeks, you could exercise and eat well, and you could be nicer to people and more friendly towards them. And these will all be things that won't just increase your feel-good hormones, you won't just feel better, but you will also actually be moving towards somewhere. You will also be creating more love in the world rather than hatred, because there's plenty of it. But there's a lot of things that I cover about that. I try to talk about giving more love essentially. So if you want to check that out, check out my channel if you want. Thanks for coming. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love.